I am sending this strong word of deep solidarity with my precious brothers and sisters in Kashmir facing a vicious Indian occupation, generating levels of domination, social misery, and suffering.
I stand with the people of Kashmir and really want to invite folks internationally to stand with Kashmir and folks in the struggle in Kashmir, just like in Puerto Rico.
Even though the situations of the Rohingya and the Kashmiri people are not exactly the same, the occupation of Kashmir are bearing the same hallmarks as the mass atrocity that my people suffer at the hands of the Burmese military.
I speak on behalf of the Confederated Villages of Lashan. We continue to live in our unceded territory in what is now the California Bay Area in the United States. Our tribal nations stand in solidarity with our sisters and brothers of Kashmir in their fight for freedom against the fascist regime of India.
This is a message to my Kashmiri brothers and sisters who are enduring a brutal occupation and being repressed by the most violent means. As a Palestinian, I know how occupation and all of its violence oozes into the most intimate spaces.
And I'm actually creating this video to show my solidarity towards the people of Kashmir who have been enduring decades-long occupation, similar to the people of East Turkestan. Right now, Kashmir is the largest militarized region in the world, and right now, Kashmiris are stripped of very basic human rights and forms of self-dignity.
Borrowing from Israel's illegal colonial settlement book, the BJP government is now forcing demographic changes on Kashmir against the will of its indigenous people.
You know, as an African American talking about Black Lives Matter, but I'm also Puerto Rican, and I was deeply moved with much of what I heard about Kashmir because it reminded me of Puerto Rico, how we have the United States and India, these democracies that actually have colonies.
We denounce the Indian government's increased use of Israeli-style militarization and settler colonial policies, and indeed Israeli weapons and training, in its ongoing oppression of the people of Kashmir.
As a Rohingya, going through a process of what's called a genocide, and living in fear of not being able to protect our loved ones, I would never understand why the international community takes so long to respond.
I send this message with the recognition that despite the violence, our brothers and sisters in Kashmir are trying to envision a better future, a more just future, a future where freedom is not a dream.
For the Kashmiri cause, I urge you all to continue, remaining strong and courageous to fight against this ongoing occupation. You know, the people of East Turkestan, a lot of them probably don't know about the Kashmiri occupation because of also the kind of information blackout that we have with China blocking the internet, blocking other forms of information and sources. And so, but in the meantime, those in diaspora, we stand with you.
We call out to the world to stop the human rights violations that continue on the lands and bodies of the Kashmiri people. As the world is on the verge of a new beginning, we must interrogate all forms of racism, and we must refuse tyranny in all its forms. We send prayers for our Kashmiri relatives, both here in our lands and in yours.
I know that the plight for self-determination is difficult, and oppressors rely on making their violence invisible, that they rely on making us invisible. But your voices are heard, and your shouts and screams, as difficult as they are to utter, are heard.
Stand strong, change is coming, and the world is shifting, and we need to stand strong and stand in solidarity and fight for what we know our people deserve.
People of Kashmir need our help, and they need us to amplify their voices. Please do everything in your power to not forget about the struggle of our Kashmiri brothers and sisters.
Nasim Shafii said, quote, "Something has to be done to make the valley green again," end of quote. Indeed, effective resistance to India's far-right oppression, coupled with mobilizing progressives globally to defend the inalienable rights of the people of Kashmir, can make this beautiful valley green. again.
Inshallah, may Allah liberate Kashmir.
Let us cast a national global spotlight on both the suffering and the resistance.